Hey everyone, how are we today? Just doing a quick all signs reading today, looking at whatever wants to come through from Platonic connections. Okay, so this could be family, friends, co-workers, all those sorts of things. Just whatever wants to come through. But today I will be using the Earthbound Oracle as well as the mystical Lenormand deck. Okay, not a deck I use very often, but it just sort of felt like it may be the right one for today. Okay, but I will let everyone know if you want to leave a comment on one of my videos, you will go in the draw for a free personal reading. We'll be drawing that when we hit 100 subscribers. So we are getting really close, guys. So make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for all your support so far. I will also be taking timestamps as we go so we don't lose track. So we'll get started today with Libra and then move on through. So how are we today, Libra? Just looking at whatever wants to come through in regard to platonic relationships around you. Libra and platonic connections. What message do you have for Libra in regard to platonic relationships? Okay, so we do have the protect card has come through there, as well as the time card. All right, so I do actually feel as though these are, the one message talking about protecting your time, protecting somebody's time. All right, Libra. So there may be somebody within your realm at the moment who, is in a bit of need of extra support and protection from you. And they just need your time and energy at the moment, I feel, with that coming through. Okay, so that may be different things for everyone within the collective, but the time card can also allude to, like divine timing, things happening in the time that they are supposed to. So if you are sort of expecting things in a certain time frame, it kind of reminds us that sometimes things don't go the way we planned, and you do need to just have faith that everything does fit to the timeline that it is actually supposed to, not necessarily the timeline that we want it to. All right, but also protecting yourself as well within platonic connections at the moment. But we'll get a bit more info about those with the Lenormand. Okay, Libra, platonic relationships for Libra, please. Okay, so Libra, we do have the bear has come out. And so one of the signifying keywords for the bear is actually protective. Okay, so definitely seeing you needing to be protective, of yourself and of others around you at this time, Libra. The bear is sort of like that mama bear. They're very protective of their loved ones and look out for, the baby cubs that they have around them, and very standing in their own power and quite a strong character, but they are very protective to the point where sometimes it is even overprotective. Okay, but obviously that message is quite important at the moment for you, Libra, that you do need to protect yourself, protect your boundaries, but also protect your loved ones within platonic connections as well. So make sure we are in a protective mood at the moment and watching out for our friends and family and whatnot. Okay. We do also have the fish card. So that really does talk about abundance and wealth. All right. So a lot of the time it can talk about finances. So, just for some of you, make sure we are protecting our finances as well. But like we saw with that time reference, I do feel as though this is actually talking about, protecting your time, like just taking care of your timing with things as well. So protecting, time is money is kind of what I want to say. Like, so this definitely could be, a platonic relationship within employment, that kind of a thing, because we do have that sort of reference going on there as well. But we also have the heart coming through. So once again, that is kind of a protective energy in this sense. It definitely is, coming from a loving space towards people around you and towards yourself as well. So, making sure that we are coming from our heart space rather than and just having that protective care, that love and care for people, even if it's only, platonic love is a thing as well. It can a lot of the time talk about unconditional love. Okay, so like the kind of love between family members and those sorts of things. A lot of the time that covers our friendships and those sorts of things as well. So really make sure that we are coming from a protective, loving space at the moment, Libra. Especially, and it will, also protect your wealth and abundance. So I do feel with those two coming out beside each other as well that, there is an abundance of love around you from your platonic friends, okay, as well. So all the platonic relationships around you, abundance, okay, a lot of wealth of love to be had within the platonic relationships around you at the moment, okay. So that's what I have for you today, Libra. Make sure you, like and subscribe to the channel. But we'll move on over to Scorpio. How are we today, Scorpio? Just making sure I take those timestamps for us. Looking at platonic relationships today. Sort of whatever wants to come out for you today, Scorpio. Scorpio and platonic relationships, please. Okay, so Scorpio, firstly, we do have the sleep card. As you can see, it's a little bear curled up in their den. So we do see with the bear imagery a very protective, nurturing kind of energy as well. So make sure we're nurturing ourselves. Making sure we're getting plenty of sleep, looking after ourselves. Like for some of you, it literally could mean just, go sleep some more, have a nap. Okay, I'm a big fan of naps, so go for it, Scorpio. We also do see the air card has come out as well. So the person that is being referenced today definitely may have an air placement. So what's that? That's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. Or yourself may have some strong air elements as well. But, the sleep and the air, it kind of just reminds us to bring ourselves back to our body, concentrate on our breathing and our sleeping and looking after ourselves in a physical manner. But, I'm getting this vibe too, Scorpio, that whoever we're looking at today within your platonic connections, there's going to be a moment where you turn around to them and just say, look, just breathe. Okay, just stop and breathe. I feel like there may be the need for you to sort of say that to somebody in the next few days or something. Okay, Scorpio, but we'll see what else we get with the lenormand there. Scorpio, platonic connections. Scorpio, please. Platonic relationships. Okay, that's an interesting mix, Scorpio. Firstly, we do see the coffin card. All right, so once again, that is like that sleep card. It's telling us to, have patience, stop, and just, you know, just be still. All right. So, there may be a very important, moment of calm that you do need to find within platonic connections in the next, like I said, I want to say a few days, week or so maybe. But, the coffin card, it does normally talk about, the death of something and then a new beginning, the death and rebirth kind of cycle. But, it also really brings to mind that sleeping beauty kind of vibe, especially when we have seen that sleep card with the oracles there. So it's really just telling me that you just need to lay down, chillax. Okay, so and I feel as though you really are kind of needing to slow down a little bit, and even within your platonic connections, it's the next card we do have is the ship card. So it kind of feels like you need to get your rest now while you can, because the next period of time is going to be sort of much more rushed for you, and you're going to be sort of setting off on new adventures, and you may even be traveling. I do get a bit of a traveling vibe coming up after that there, because but it's it's really pushing me to tell you to slow down and breathe, and just you may, like I said, you may even be telling this to a friend or a coworker or something like that, that they just need to just stop for a bit before you rush into everything, is the message I'm getting from that. All right. So with the ship there, yeah, like I said, maybe traveling, maybe starting new adventures with this specific, platonic relationship. I do have that traveling vibe. Like I said, we have the camels racing across the desert here in this sun card as well. So I do feel for some of you, we're sort of rushing into things in the near future, and we will be going into this period of, busyness and racing into things. And so it's very important for you to, stop before you rush into things. All right. So, but overall, we do see with the Sun card a lot of happiness headed your way as well. All right. It is a very happy, warm, sort of loving card. And it sort of shines brightly over the sea, making that journey, well lit, I suppose, so that you can see exactly where you're going on these journeys. But it's very important to, have your little sleeping beauty rest before you set off on these journeys, so that you have enough stamina to race the whole way across that desert. Okay, but this journey that you're starting, this travel that you're starting, it may actually bring some things to light between you and somebody platonically as well. I do feel as though this is just talking about you and someone being like a team, and both of you kind of needing to do this. So there may be something. You may be traveling with somebody, who is within your platonic group, all those sorts of things, and they're kind of needing to hear the same message as well. So like I said, you need to stop and relax and breathe, and you need to tell whoever you're going along with on this travel or journey to just stop and relax and breathe, and then we can race on in. All right. So that's what I have for you today, Scorpio. So I hope that helps and resonated for you guys out there. Feel free to check your other placements. But moving over to our Sagittarians. How are we today, Sagittarius? Just looking at platonic connections for you, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius need to know about their platonic relationships, please? Okay, Sagittarius, we do have the time card. Okay, so that does allude quite a lot to divine timing. We also have the guide card. All right, so that really will let us know that whoever we're looking at today within your platonic connections, they're either your guide or like a mentor for you, or you are for them. Okay, so it's somebody who you have that teacher student kind of dynamic with. They may really be someone that you turn to for advice, or like I said, vice versa. It can sort of go either way here. Obviously, you will probably have a better idea than me. It might be different for everyone within the collective. But it's really letting us know that we are just needing to give a little bit more time to that person at the moment. All right. Allow things to unfold in the way that they will. Like I said, it can talk about divine timing, but also just, I feel as though it's just letting us know that, spend a bit more time with whoever this person is. If you do have someone that you look up to a lot, make sure you're spending time with them, because they probably have some really solid advice for you at this time. All right. And like I said, vice versa. If somebody does rely on you for advice, and whatnot, that maybe you should be spending a bit more time with them, just for their own benefit or whatever. All right, but we'll have a look at the lenormand and see what that wants to add for you, Sagittarius. Sagittarius and platonic connection, please. Okay, so Sagittarius, we do have the mice card first and foremost. So you or this person sort of has something that's sort of eating away at them, something to do with something you've lost in the past. I'm just going to keep referring to it as you, right? But flip it if necessary. So something that you have lost in the past that is kind of niggling away in the back of your head, eating away at you. You can kind of see these mice here eating away at this block of cheese. So if you can kind of imagine that whatever the thing that you have lost in the past, this is what it's kind of doing. It's eating away little pieces of you, taking your energy, taking your time away from other things, because it's just sitting there in the back of your mind, eating away at you, eating away at you. Okay, so I feel like that's why we are seeing that guide card, because somebody has some strong advice for that situation that may make you think about things just a little bit differently, so that it's not actually becoming a long-term issue for you. All right, because with the lily here, we do see long-term things. Can also be talking about career stuff as well. So it may be like a job that you've lost in the past, and it's something about that is still sort of eating away at you, those sorts of things. But that may only be for like one of you, but I do feel for majority of you that it's just a bit of a warning that, we need to deal with this thing now, before it does become sort of a long-term thing, because you can imagine that if those mice sit there long term, that whole block of cheese is going to be gone. And if that whole block of cheese is your time and your energy, there's going to be nothing left for you. All right, Sagittarius. So you don't want it to be a long-term issue. You want to make sure you sort of deal with that before you've lost too much of yourself to worrying about that problem. All right, and I want to say beating yourself up about that problem. I did see on the bottom of the deck the whip. So that's kind of that self-flagellation energy where you're, feeling guilty or beating yourself up about the way something has happened. Beating yourself up about some sort of a loss in the past. All right, but we do also see the clover. Okay, so you do have a lot of short-term luck around you at the moment. Once again, this can be a career card, so definitely for at least one Sagittarius, we're looking at you may have recently lost a job, and that's what's sort of needing to talk to your mentor, your guide, to give you that luck back into your life, to inspire you to take a new chance on something new. All right, because with the clover, we do really see that luck is on your side, and that you can take a little bit of a risk at the moment with this, and with the way that you're dealing with this. Take a chance, and things will work out perfectly fine for you. It is a very fortunate card. A lot of good happy fortune comes along with that clover as well. So definitely something you just need a little bit of, mentoring or advice, I feel, at the moment. And, take the time to deal with this properly now before it comes a long-term issue for you, Sagittarius. All right, but we'll move over to Capricorn. How are we today, Capricorn? Just looking at your platonic relationships today. Capricorn and platonic connection, please. Okay, we do firstly have the simplicity card. Okay, so bring it back to the basics, Capricorn. All right, so I kind of want to say that with the simplicity card, it's really sort of, yeah, getting back to the basics, going back to the drawing board, starting from scratch. I feel, so it doesn't refer to this directly, but we do have the transformation card next. All right, it doesn't refer to this directly, but I'm getting a strong message that some of the Capricorns out there may need to, go back to the drawing board with their platonic relationships, which, in turn, it feels like it's telling us that you may need to cut out some of your platonic connections to sort of get back to the basics and get back to, your most trustables, or whatever, the platonic connections that do serve you. Make sure we get back to the simplicity of, this is what makes me happy. This is what serves me, my higher self, the best. you know, sometimes having just one strong platonic connection is better than having 5 strong platonic connections that aren't actually helping you. So simplicity is best at the moment, Capricorn, and that will help transform things for you at the moment. All right, you do have the transformation card, so we also could see that there could be a platonic connection that is going through some sort of transformation at the moment. We'll see with the lenormand if we can get a bit more detail about that. All right, because I feel as though that's a specific message, that transformation card. And I can't really get a vibe on whether we're, transforming for the better or the worse, to be honest. But I do feel as though for some of you, that's definitely sort of saying transform the way you're looking at your platonic connections, that you need to go back to simplicity and focus on, focus on the one or two who really serve your highest good. All right. Capricorn and platonic connections, please. Okay, so there's a reason that I feel like I've intuitively told you to maybe cut out somebody, Capricorn, because I do feel as though there's I do have here, look, interestingly enough, they're all the animal cards too. So we do have the mice, which is followed by the fox, which is followed by the dog. All right, and the dog talks directly about friendships. Okay, so it talks about, friendships and support and loyalty within those people. All right, so a dog is a man's best friend kind of a vibe. So I feel as though we probably are talking about a friendship. Since that has come out, it's probably a friendship rather than a family relationship or a co-worker or those sorts of things. But we are seeing with the mice, okay, something that's been sort of eating away at you a little bit, or eating away at this person a little bit. And it's got to do with this fox energy, okay? So the fox energy is someone who only serves themselves, all right? So, and the fox is, quite tricky and cunning and crafty. A fox is that tricky little fox, that clever little fox. So I do feel as though this is someone in your friendship groups who is being a bit of a trickster. They're only concerned about themselves. They're not actually as loyal to you as you may be to them, Capricorn. And I feel like with the mice here, I feel like that you kind of know that you need to lose this person from your energy, and it's kind of eating away at you. I think deep down you probably already know who this person is, and the fact that they are only serving themselves. It's a very independent kind of self-serving kind of energy with the fox coming through here, and like I don't feel like the mice is a loss. Sometimes it can talk about a loss in the past, but I feel as though it's talking about, it's kind of like you need to lose this fox. And it's kind of already eating away at you. They're eating away at your energy, and and I feel like that's the transformation that needs to happen, is that you need to lose this fox from your life. It may not be like a forever thing. You may just need to take a break, and like we saw in the start there, getting back to that simplicity, and transform the way that you do look at your platonic connections, and the way that you're allowing this person to maybe cross your boundaries a little bit, take advantage of you a little bit, I want to say, because it really can be that salesman kind of energy where it's like they will say what they think that you want to hear, but it may not be the full extent of the story. All right, they may be leaving things out, and it's kind of nibbling away at you a little bit in the back of your mind, that this person is, I just keep wanting to say that they're only worried about their own survival. They're not worried about it's just not feeling equal at all. All right. So I do feel as though that's the transformation that we're looking at, that we do need to maybe think about cutting someone like that from our energy. If not for, it doesn't have to be long term. It could just be taking a break from that person. I do feel as though you already probably know what that is all about, Capricorn, all right? Of course, feel free to check your other placements if that doesn't resonate for you. But moving on to Aquarius. How are we today, Aquarius? Just looking at platonic connections for you. Aquarius. What's going on for Aquarius with platonic connection? Okay, we do have achievement has come through. So I feel like you have probably put in a lot of hard work into some platonic connections around you. And now we're sort of seeing the achievement period of those bonds, all right? We're finding balance, okay, within our platonic connections, that achievement and balance. That's straight away a lovely message to be receiving, Aquarius. So we'll see what the Lenormand wants to add in there for you. Like, I am really feeling that with that mountain imagery in that achievement card, that it's been a struggle to get to this point of balance within your platonic connections, and balancing those connections with other things in your life as well. Finding time for friends, finding time for family, but it feels like you finally found this balance for yourself, and really wanting to maintain that, and not slide back down the hill, so to speak, Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius and platonic connection, please. So we firstly have the Clover. So that's short-term good luck, willing to take a bit of a chance, being able to take a bit of a chance at the moment, have a bit of a gamble, all right? Next, we do have the Tree, which in this sort of a reading, that is actually talking about your family tree, okay? So we are sort of seeing that, there may maybe something coming up with your family where it may feel like it's a bit of a risk, but it is safe for you to take that risk. It does sort of feel like, all right, within the family unit there. This particular deck, it really does refer to the family tree. I don't know if you can see that there, but there's actually little birds all the way through this tree here, and so it really is like a little family of birds sitting in their family tree there, but able to take a bit of a risk and take a gamble on the family stuff at the moment, all right? We also do see the lily there, and it's all about creating long-term bonds, long-term, like having that longevity of support within the family unit at the moment, okay? So it's kind of letting us know that if you haven't seen a certain family member in a while that you do want to spend some more time with, now's the time to be doing that, taking that chance. I because the common thing these two cards can also talk about too is, with that taking a risk factor and then the branching out factor. So it's kind of like, I just felt like I needed to mention that for some reason. It's like a branching out, so sort of reaching out to someone within the family, that you may not have spoken to for a fair while there, so that you can sort of restructure and find, long-term success, refinding emotional intimacy with that person, okay? So it just feels as though there may be a connection within the family that still needs to find that balance. I feel like it's someone you haven't spoken to for a while within your family, and you and them are probably quite emotionally linked, and wanting to just sort of rebalance that a little bit more, and find that achievement within that relationship, so that it does become stronger long term, all right? So that's sort of what we're looking at for majority of you, I feel. So we'll move over to Pisces, but of course, feel free to check your other placements if that doesn't resonate for you. But moving over to Pisces, how are we today, Pisces? Just looking at Platonic connections. Okay, Pisces and Platonic connections, please. Okay, Pisces, we do have the healing card. All right. We also have the voice card. All right. So I feel like the healing card is all about you, Pisces. You've been, this poor little bird with a broken wing. You've been struck by all these little, arrows or whatever they are. You've been through a lot. Okay, Pisces. You're still healing. All right. So making sure that the people around you do know, tread softly. Pisces, needs a bit of bandaging at the moment, needs some extra love and care from their support groups. All right, finding your voice, Pisces, to ask for that help. All right, so if you do feel as though, look, I'm on this journey where I am just healing still and I need this or that or this or that from family, friends, whatever, find your voice, Pisces, and ask for help. Okay, is really what I want to say with that. All right, like the people that are, in your platonic relationships, they always want to help you. And if they don't want to help you and support you through this, maybe they're not as close a relationship as we thought. All right. It could also be, I do feel like for maybe one or two of you Pisces, that the healing that we're going through is actually from a platonic relationship. You may have had a platonic relationship that has hurt you in some way. So we're really finding our voice at the moment, Pisces, and speaking aloud what it is that we are healing from at the moment and the things that have hurt us. All right. So just for some reason, Pisces, I just feel like there is definitely a need for you to be vocal about what you're going through at the moment. All right. Okay, Pisces and Platonic connection, please. Okay, so a lot of signs have gotten this card today, but we do. I think Sagittarius, Capricorn, and now you Pisces have all gotten the mice card today. So the mice card really does talk about things that are eating away at you, loss that you've experienced in the past. So that's what we're healing from. Okay, something that's sort of still eating away at our mind a little bit. That we can't sort of get rid of that voice in the back of your head that's eating away at you there, in regard to a loss from the past. I feel that that's talking about directly Pisces. So, it is just letting us know that that's what we're healing from at the moment there. We also see the rider, okay? So there's good news on the way, Pisces. I do want to say that good news has a lot to do with the fact that you are healing and that you have come a long way in your healing. And it's kind of like you see that bird with the bandage on his wing there. So it's kind of like, this loss that you've experienced in the past. It's like you broke your wing, but then all of a sudden the rider comes in, and that's like the doctor saying the x-rays are back, your wing has healed, it's perfect, you can now fly off, Pisces. All right, you can take the bandage off and fly. Okay, so I kind of I'm getting that strongly, Pisces. So use your voice and find that find that good news, because it's headed straight for you. The rider is pretty fast as well. All right, and he comes bringing flowers. All right, so when we're healing, that isn't that exactly what you want to see? You're healing from something, and then someone comes rushing on in with good news and flowers. All right, so there may be someone coming towards you with physical gifts, from a platonic connection. Definitely could be seeing some sort of physical gifts headed your way. But we also do see with the flowers that it's just that reciprocal energy of, giving. So giving someone giving their time and energy, their love to you, Pisces, and they're your friend or they're your family, so you give and receive that. Okay, so you give them as much as they give you in return. So it's really about, when you find your voice and ask for what it is that you need, they're more than happy to give that to you, Pisces. All right. You know, they're going to come on in quick and give you that big bunch of flowers. All right. So like I said, it could physically be a gift, but you know, when I'm seeing the bunch of flowers, it's really just that support that I feel that you need at the moment, Pisces. And you know, you do have that voice card as well, so don't be afraid to ask for that support if you need it. All right. So that's what I have for you today, Pisces. You know, as always, feel free to check your other placements. But we'll move over to Aries. How are we today, Aries? I better make sure I have that timestamp. How are we today, Aries? All right, so just looking today at the Platonic connections for you. Aries and Platonic connection, please. Okay, Aries. Firstly, we have self coming through. All right. So that's a very interesting looking card, isn't it? It's got that heart, but then the eye in the middle of the heart. So it's really focusing back in on yourself. All right. So even though we're asking about platonic connections, it's kind of wanting me to say to you, Aries, like you need to be your own friend first. You need to be your own family first. You know, platonic connections, friends, family, you know, co-workers, all that sort of stuff. But you need to put yourself first as well and include yourself in those things, Aries. We do also see the luck card, all right? So definitely entering a period of luck for you, Aries. You know, definitely a good sign to be seeing with that luck. And it says, you know, when I'm looking down at them together, it says self-luck. Okay, so I want to kind of say that, you know, if we create our own luck as well. So really keeping ourselves positive and loving and, you know, be your own friend first and luck will be by your side. All right. Okay, Aries. Aries and Platonic connection, please. Okay, Aries. Firstly, we do have the stork, all right? So the stork really does stir up brand new energy, all right? So I do feel that for a lot of you, Aries, we're going to be meeting a new friend because what we have here is, you know, firstly, we have that stork. Then we actually have the garden, which talks about meetings and places to meet people. And then we have the dog, which talks directly about friendships. All right, so definitely looking at a friendship here. And we are, like I said, stirring up brand new energy. And then we have places to meet people, getting out there, being a little bit more social, and you may meet a new friend. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward for what I've got for you there, Aries. Definitely, you know, the garden, it can just talk about, you know, opportunities to meet new people, you know, stirring up that energy of, look, I would like to meet a new friend. And then putting yourself out there, getting out and about, you know, coffee shops, you know, walking through public gardens, art galleries, all those sorts of things, you know, just getting out and about, spending time outdoors, you know, in public spaces. And you are going to sort of be a lot more likely to follow in that luck of finding that friend if that's what you're after, because you know that friendship card, it really does talk about, you know, friendship, but also the loyalty and the support that a good friend brings as well. All right, so you know, there may be definitely a new friend headed in for you, Aries. So that's what I have for you guys. But so, you know, of course, feel free to check your other placements. But for now, we'll move over to Taurus. Oh, before I do move over to Taurus, I would just like to add, Aries, that it definitely actually could talk about as well, you know, meeting up with a friend that you already have and then actually just stirring up some new elements within that connection and you know, making that connection with that existing friend stronger. Or it may be sort of, you know, like meeting up with a friend that you haven't seen for a very long time as well. All right, but that's what I have for you, Aries. So we'll move over to Taurus. How are we today, Taurus? Just doing platonic relationships today. Having a look at the platonic relationships in your life. So whether that be family, friends, co-workers, we'll see what wants to come out for you today, Taurus. Taurus and platonic connection. Okay, Taurus. So we do have the gift card has come out for you today. So, it could just be a physical gift, but it could also be talking about, just the gift of spending time with somebody, having, their energy around you, that someone is feeling like a gift to your life. But also we are seeing labor as well. All right. So we do see, though, in this labor card that, it's about this little bee in the hive. So it's kind of like about teamwork and putting in the work, to be part of a team and be part of this community, this collective. All right. And then you will really receive the gifts of your labor, so to speak. Okay. But we'll have a look and see what the Lenormand wants to add in for you, Taurus. Taurus and platonic connection. Taurus and platonic connections. Okay. Very interesting, Taurus. We do have the bear energy, okay? So that really does talk about, being protective, standing in your own power and having those boundaries when you need. But very, very protective, I'm getting energy from this today. That bear, it's like the mama bear that protects everyone around them, from getting too close to, that close-knit group. I keep looking at that card as well. So it's kind of like the bear protecting their honey, okay? So making sure that your labor and all the hard work you've put into your platonic connections is being protected, and that you are doing, what you need to do to stand up for your hard work within those connections. All right. So I do feel that for some of you, you may be having to sort of stand your ground a little bit when it does come to, the work that you've put in with these platonic connections. All right. But we are definitely seeing some sort of new energy coming through as well. We do have the book followed by the road. Okay. So the book really does talk about the next chapter, which path you're going to take next. So they're kind of really joined in that sense. They do sort of talk about, what's coming up next for you. And with the book, we do really see here, this book is closed. It hasn't been opened yet. So some sort of venturing into the unknown. You're not going to know where this road leads you. But, I'm getting a very positive vibe from this road card today. It really does sort of let us know too that you're following the right path, and, that book will have boundless treasures. Like we did see this gift card as well. So it's kind of like, you've planted the seeds, and you've put in the work, and the next chapters, the new path that you walk down these roads of, connections, friendships, whatever, that is for you. It could be within your family unit, your co-workers, those sorts of things. Especially with the labor card, we definitely could be looking at like a co-worker type situation. But we are definitely seeing that story is, yet to unfold, but it's going to be, a gift to receive that. As you walk down this road here, there will be plenty of gifts along the path for you, I feel, and it'll be, a very bountiful rewards down the path, and just, choosing to walk that path and starting fresh if you need to, and you know, like I said, you've put in the hard work, so there's sort of nothing to fear. I want to say, Taurus. So, whatever you are doing, keep on doing it with that hard work, because the gifts are there, ready to receive. Okay, Taurus. That's what I have for you guys. Make sure if you do feel like you want to check other placements, go on right ahead. But we'll move on to Gemini. How are we today, Gemini? Just looking at platonic connections around you at the moment, Gemini. So Gemini and platonic connection. Okay, Gemini. Firstly, we do have the Illuminate card All right, so you can kind of see that with the Illuminate card, the eye is wide open, those candles are lit, so things are really coming out into the open. Your eyes are open. You have the light to see everything around you. So it's really kind of opening you up a lot at the moment to platonic connections in your life, and things really being revealed to you about the truth of those connections. And we do also have the abundance card as well. So I do feel that with the abundance card following the illuminate card, that it's kind of like your eyes are finally opening to see how much abundance you have within your platonic connections, how much love you have within those connections, how many of those connections you have, like whether it be family, friends, co-workers. It feels like your eyes are finally opening to the fact that there's a lot of people around you platonically that want to be there for you and support you, and are super positive relationships that are really sort of revealing themselves to be, abundant in the way that they, provide for your highest good. All right, so that's super positive vibe coming through there, Gemini. But we'll see what the Lenormand wants to add. Gemini and platonic connections. Gemini, platonic connection for Gemini. Okay. I'm going to need some clarifiers here, because I have got three people cards have sort of come on out. The first one is the dog, which does talk about, a friend. Okay, so a friendship, all right, and we do get a lot of loyalty and support from that friendship. But this is kind of making sense why we saw that abundance card coming out as well, because then I do have the masculine and the feminine have both come out together. All right, so that's why I'm just wanting some extra clarification there, because I feel like they are actually separate people, and all three of them actually feel like separate people. So I'm going to grab a clarifier for each, please. Clarify the dog for Gemini, clarify the masculine, and clarify the feminine for Gemini, please. Okay, so I kind of, once again, I am getting some, like, the fact that it kind of is different people here. I'm definitely feeling the abundance of people around you in platonic connections at the moment, Gemini. So, your eyes probably really are open to the fact that there are a lot of people around you at the moment. So when I've clarified the dog, I have gotten the bear. So the bear is like super protective and nurturing, and they stand in their own power. Very strong, powerful person, strong friend. Okay, so they're quite loving and protective of you at this time. And you're probably becoming very aware of the fact that you are protective of this friend. They are very protective of you in return. All right. So that's that person. Like I said, I've just got people coming out the yin yang here. But we do have the masculine was clarified with the fish, which is actually the Lenormand card of abundance as well. So we're definitely seeing an abundance of masculine elements around you, Gemini. So the masculine element is the people that are a little bit more reserved, and they come from a place of logic rather than emotion. All right, so they usually are a bit more reserved though, but you do have an abundance of that energy around you at the moment. So eyes wide open, Gemini, and take note of all these people around you, because I do feel that they're all quite supportive of you. All right, and we do also have the feminine, which was clarified with the cross. Okay, so whoever this feminine is, you have a super strong spiritual connection with this feminine may not necessarily be a, the masculine and feminine definitely don't always have to read as male or female, okay? The feminine is someone who's a lot more emotional than the masculine, a lot more nurturing as well. But it's just talking about somebody that you do have a really super strong spiritual or religious bond with this person. So these people, I feel like we do have the friend who is supportive and protective of you. We have the feminine who is, this could definitely be a mother figure as well. It could be talking about your mother with this feminine. And they're very, very spiritually connected to you. It's a very destined connection, that one. So I would be, with that bear on the table, I would be very protective of that connection as well. But then this could actually be more than one person here. We do have this masculine energy. We have quite a lot of it. With the double abundance on the table, there definitely could be more than just even three people here. So we definitely have a lot of connections around you at the moment, Gemini. And with that bear, I do just want to say, make sure you are being protective of the ones that you do care for, and make sure that you are keeping your eyes open at how beautiful it is to have all this love and support around you at the moment. I feel like that's the prevailing message for you at the moment, Gemini, is that you just have so much support around you at the moment that that's like one of the most beautiful things I've seen in a very long time. And having that much abundance, in those sorts of relationships really helps create abundance in other areas of your life as well. All right, so that's what I have for you guys, Gemini. So, feel welcome to check your other placements if you want as well. But we'll move over to our Cancer. How are we today, Cancer? Just looking at platonic connections. Platonic connection for our Cancer, please. Okay, one more. Okay, Cancer. We have firstly the fear card. All right, so I don't like this card because it's the poor little bunny. But I get fearful of seeing this card. But it does talk about fear and holding ourselves back, and because fear is kind of like the opposite to love. All right, so it's kind of reminding us to come from a place of love rather than worrying about the worst case scenario, what could happen if it's really focusing on coming from your heart, and when you're dealing with your platonic connections, really coming from your heart space rather than allowing yourself to worry about things that may not even happen. All right, so I do just feel with that fear card, it's just a bit of a warning that you need to really focus on putting the love out there at the moment within your platonic connections. All right, but we also do have the wealth card. All right, so we may have a lot of platonic connections around us that are providing our life with a lot of wealth. Wealth is a lot more than just money. Definitely could be money as well. We definitely could have some wealthy friends spreading the love. And I do want to say that for some of you, Cancer, that this is actually talking about you fearing wealth. All right, and you kind of feeling that if you do have a lot of people around you, that you kind of fearing that it's too much. All right, and to not be scared of it, to just enjoy that support around you at this time. But we'll see what the Lenormand wants to add in there. Okay, Cancer and platonic connection. Yeah, so I am getting a similar message there, because I do have the cross and the clouds have come out at the end there, and the cross and the clouds. The cross can talk about burdens that we are carrying. All right, so I definitely feel as though there's some burdens that you're carrying that are probably fear-based anxieties, because the clouds really talks about our thoughts and, you know, anxiety, depression, those sorts of things, and so you're carrying your anxieties quite heavy at the moment, Cancer, and allowing those to affect your platonic connections. Okay, this one reminds us to keep our thoughts clear and white and fluffy clouds instead of allowing those storm clouds to come in. All right, because the storm clouds is where we start, you know, getting anxiety or overthinking things. All right, so it's kind of letting us know, you know, you have a wealth of things going on for you at the moment, but, you know, to be really careful to not overthink things, to not let things burden you too much, you know, rather than that, to be in this child energy. All right, we do have the child as well, so that really does remind us to just, you know, go back to when you were a child and come from that place where, you know, you look out at the world and everything is amazing, and, you know, there's this wealth of life around you, and there's this wealth of people around you. You know, when you're a little child, there's no such thing as having too many friends or family around you. That's actually a super positive thing. You know, when we're adults and we have responsibilities, and we can kind of start overthinking things and carrying them as burdens rather than, you know, looking at it with a lot of innocence and just that joyful playfulness. All right, so it's just reminding us to really, you know, look at life as though it's an adventure rather than a burden, and not allowing yourself to get overwhelmed or, you know, clouded with the way that we are, you know, looking at our friends and family or whatnot. All right, so really wanting to sort of embrace your inner child and allow them to, you know, jump on the swings and go a bit crazy. All right, you know, that innocence and joyfulness, you know, really looking at the world, you know, through the child's eyes rather than as this adult with, you know, fears and responsibilities and adulthood. I know, right? It gets a bit like that, doesn't it, Cancer? We all go through those times, and it's totally understandable, but it's just, you know, that reminder that, you know, deep down we are all still this little child that just wants to have fun. So maybe focus on the fun side of life at the moment, Cancer. All right, but, you know, obviously feel welcome to check your other placements if that doesn't resonate for you as well. But we'll move over to Leo. How are we today, Leo? Just looking today at our platonic connections. So Leo and platonic connection. Okay, so we do have the travel card, Leo. We also have the time card. So I want to say, for majority of you, find time to travel toward the person, whoever that person is, whether it's, you know, a friend, a family, a co-worker that you may need to travel for work, some of you, but you know, find the time to travel because it's going to work out important, you know, for what comes next to strengthen your platonic connection with this person. You know, with the travel card, we definitely could be seeing physical travel, but we could also just be seeing you know, like growth type travel as well. We do see the butterfly image in this card. So it really does talk about, you know, spreading your wings and flying a little bit within those connections. And then the timing card, it really can talk about divine timing as well. So allowing things to sort of happen, allowing things to travel along as they will. So whether you have a fast paced connection that, you know, you only just met this person and you guys are getting along so well, and like all of a sudden, you know, it's moving really quickly, this friendship or whatever. It's allowing things to go, you know, with the flow, just go as it, take it as it comes, kind of a vibe. Whether, you know, or if a friendship's not moving along as quickly as you would like it to just let it be slow as well. So it's just, you know, letting time take its time, whether that be fast or slow or, you know, all over the place. You know, time travel is quite fun. Because if you look at it here, it is talking about, you know, time travel as well. So it could also be talking about wanting to go back in the past and redo something to do with the platonic connection, or wanting to travel forward and see if this person is still in your life in 20 years' time. But it's really just reminding us to go with the flow and travel through that relationship as time progresses, rather than worrying too much about, what's been or what's coming. All right. Okay, Leo and platonic connections, please. Once again, we're getting an interesting... Okay, we do have the Mountain card here. So that can actually talk about travel as well. It can talk about more so travel to like overseas travel, as well as, if you're physically traveling to the mountains, all right? So you may have a platonic friend who lives in the mountains, so it might be a good time to travel and visit them. But we do sort of see with the Mountain, it can talk about putting in a bit of hard work, persevering, okay? So I do feel as though with that time coming through, that you may be feeling like you're putting in a bit of hard work. You've been persevering with a friend, and I do feel as though it's a friend, because we do next have the dog, which is friendships, and someone that is loyal and supportive of you. But it does feel as though lately you've probably been putting in a little bit more hard work. You've been more determined than this person to keep this connection strong. But it's telling us to just sort of take a chance on this person, because this may just be a short-term trip up this mountain, and then once you get to the top, that's where that hard work becomes brand new opportunities. And it's kind of, with the clover here, it does tell us that you are coming into a period of good fortune within this connection, within this relationship. There is a lot of short-term good luck there. So even if you feel as though you have been putting in a little bit more work, a little bit more time and energy than they may have been, that it's traveling to this place where you really will be experiencing a lot of good fortune and good luck with this connection, and it's going to serve you well. All right. It may not even be necessarily to do with that connection. I feel as though the good luck's kind of coming in from all sides, and it's the fact that you've put in so much hard work with this friendship, it is actually just bringing you more luck in general, and it's letting us know that it's safe for you to sort of take a chance to keep persevering with that friendship. All right. It's worth it at the end. So even though if it feels like it might be a little bit of hard work, it might be taking up too much of your time, and it's feeling maybe a little bit one-sided at the moment, that it's kind of all worth it in the end. Maybe this is just short term, you're having to put in the hard work, and then in the long run, you taking a risk on that person is really going to pay off for you. All right. It does talk about, it may feel like it's a bit of a gamble, a bit of a risk for you to be putting in so much effort into this person at the moment, but it's really going to pay off for you. All right, Leo. And I want to say that there's probably one Leo out there that, whoever that person is that you've been putting in a bit of hard work and perseverance, I want to say that they are going to take you traveling. All right. So that's probably just for one person. All right. But so don't take that on board if that's not for you. Not everyone has the capabilities to, go on all expenses paid. But I do feel as though for maybe one Leo out there, you may have, whoever this is that you've been putting all this hard work into, it's going to pay off, and they're going to take you traveling, and it's most likely going to be overseas. All right. So just side note for just one person there. So if that's you, let me know in the comments where they're taking you. All right. But moving right along, we'll move over to Virgo. How are we today, Virgo? Just looking at our platonic connections today. Okay, Virgo and platonic connection, please. Pardon? Okay, Virgo. So we do have the ceremony card. All right. So there may be literally an upcoming ceremony that you're attending for a platonic friend or family member, those sorts of things. Someone in the family or friendship group may be getting married. It could be a lot of different types of ceremonies. There's, you know, it's just talking about, you know, the ceremony of, you know, it, something like more official, but it doesn't necessarily have to be like a wedding. All right, it could be a lot of things, like a you know, a baptism, a christening type thing, just some sort of event. I feel with that ceremony, it's some sort of event that you might be attending with a platonic friend or family member, or for a family member or friend. All right, it could even be a co-worker as well. So it definitely could be like you know, like a college graduation or anything like that. That is, it's sort of something a little bit official, but not, it doesn't have to be like official to the point of, you know, a lot of people are going to say ceremony, oh, wedding ceremony. Doesn't necessarily talk about that, although it definitely could, okay? But we are seeing the self card as well. So, you know, quite an interesting image, this one, with the heart, with the eye open on the heart there. So it really sort of tells us to look inside your heart, focus on yourself at the moment, you know, when it comes to, you know, platonic relationships, that you really need to sort of be your own friend first and foremost. All right, Virgo, I feel like they're two separate messages. This one's just letting us know something's coming up, some sort of event, I want to say, coming up that you'll be attending, you know. There we go. Very interesting, Virgo, but it is also letting us know, you know, focus on yourself at the moment. Focus on your own heart, your own desires, all right? But we'll see what the lenormand wants to add for you, Virgo. Virgo. Virgo and platonic connection. Whoa. Virgo and platonic connection, please. Okay, so we do see here, Virgo, firstly, the flowers, all right? So the flowers is that energy of giving and receiving, all right? But I kind of want to say that, you know, you probably have been giving a lot to a particular friendship lately. We do also see the mountain, which is followed by the dog, all right? So the dog is the card of friendship. So it does talk about someone that, you know, is loyal and supportive to us. So you are loyal and supportive to them, but it's more along the lines of friendship. All right, so that's why I say friend, okay? But it's kind of reminding us, especially with that self card up there, keep that in mind, Virgo, because what we are seeing here is, you know, you have been giving all the hard work to this friendship lately. All right. The mountain really does talk about, you know, hard work, perseverance, determination. And then with the flowers there, that's a very, you know, like I said, it's a very giving energy, but normally it is a reciprocal energy where, you know, you give and then you receive, and you give and then you receive. Whereas in this instance, I feel as though this is you giving and giving and giving and giving. All right. So, you know, if you keep giving and not receiving, you won't have, you know, the steam to get the whole way up the mountain. You do need to receive as well as give. Okay, so just be careful not to give too much hard work, too much of yourself, of your time, of your energy to this friendship. It really is talking about, you know, looking after yourself, number one, at the moment, Virgo. So I do just feel as though we are just looking at, you know, you have been putting a lot of time and energy into a specific friendship, and you know, it's feeling like you're struggling up this mountain at the moment. You know, when we do reach the top of the mountain, there is a lot of opportunity and you can see your way clear, but I feel as though you need that support. All right, I feel like I want to kind of say, Virgo, like I'm not seeing any cards supporting it, but I kind of really want to say that you need to look after yourself, and you know, maybe tell them that you need their support to do this. You can't do it all by yourself. All right. Even, you know, we all know that when people climb the really big mountains, that they never do it by themselves. All right, they have help climbing up the mountain. All right, they have someone, you know, helping them with the ropes and setting up tents and whatever it is. You need help. All right, you need this to be reciprocal. You can't just keep putting in all the work all by yourself. Virgo. You need to, really, you know, look out for yourself, number one, and ask for them to support you as well. All right, not just you supporting them all the time. They need to support you as well. All right, and give you that help. All right, so that's what I have for you today, Virgo. So, of course, if that doesn't resonate, feel free to check your other placements. But yeah, like I said, that's what we have for you today. And, please make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Your support really is appreciated. But thank you all so much for your time today.